Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. It seems like there are some interests. I don't think it seems like, but I have to say that I leave a little door open so you don't seem to be so absolute in your assessments. It seems like there are some big interests and people at work in really getting NATO involved in a direct meaning boom, boom, pop, 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 confrontation with Russia. Not through Ukraine only, which is occurring right now. So Ukrainians are dying versus the Russians, and we stay outside and we smoke our cigars and drink our bourbon. Not that kind, which we have right now. And we give them weapons and they die. No. The one that we really get involved. We bam bam, they bam bam. And victims will be you and I, not those guys with the cigars, okay? And I would like to talk about this aspect and talk about a particular person who is very happy to get us in that direction. And it seems like he's got the ears, and not only the ears, this guy is just playing a role. And let me read you the article. The article comes from Ukrainska Pravda, then I'm going to use an article from Sputnik to show you that if these guys are going to do that, the other guys are going to do the other thing. So actions have consequences. That's why when these guys are telling us, oh, that's an unprovoked attack. All right, let me give you an example. I'm over here, right? I'm in my house. And my neighbor that I don't really like, okay? And he doesn't like me. This is not real, but anyway, let's make it like that. An analogy here. The neighbor comes around my territory, my property, with other neighbors, and they start putting all kind of, mines, and they move personnel around. They get closer to me, next to my border, right here. How should I consider that? Oh, there's just weapons going around pointed at my house. Is that what I should do? Or I should find that as, and I should clearly and rightly assess it as a provocation, a threat. I think you would do the same thing. You say, hey, neighbor, what the hell are you doing? And the neighbor says, mind your own business. What would you do? You got to do something about it. All right. So then would it be provoked if you act against these guys, or it wouldn't be unprovoked? Would that scenario be considered, I got provoked by these guys to act in a certain way? Even when I try to discuss the issue, hey, guys, what are you doing here? And I didn't include my children, let's say, going to school and being harassed by these guys and kicked in the butt and all that. Or some of them, let's say, killed. Then what should I do? Should I consider that being a provocation or not? And if I'm going to go and smack those guys, my neighbors around, they will say, hey, Emil attacked us in an unprovoked way. Well, you had your weapons all around my property. You killed my kids going to school or beat them up. What am I supposed to do? What's going to be next? What do you think if you look at the direction the whole thing goes? It's already too much. Would you like me to do the same thing? No. Therefore, you know that it's a bad thing. So the thing with unprovoked, it works kind of like this. All right? It's always something that's provoked. I mean, you act because something occurred. Now, was that legitimate? That's a different story. But provocations, if someone looks in a different way at a certain guy, that could be considered provocation, and the guy would react. Like where I come from, if you look at the guy longer than 3 seconds, you might be asked, what are you looking at? That's how I grew up. Then you say, or you're going to say, oh, my bad, but you don't look then. So that's a provocation. The guy's going to come and kick your butt for your provocation. That's how it is. You know it, he knows it. You wouldn't want it the other way. So let's go back to this. Let's go to this. I didn't even start about this guy. So the new voice of Ukraine. Ukraine to get 2 or 3 types of Western fighter jets. That's an affirmative sentence. That means affirming that that's what's going to be. To get, will get. It's not like could get, might get, pop, allegedly. Or no, 2 or 3, not only 1. There's going to be 2 or 3. They have an option. It's not only 2, like the democracy here in America, they have only 2 parties that really do everything. One as main one, Reznikov says, this guy. So this guy says, yeah, we're going to get weapons to defend ourselves. fighter jets. Okay, I just covered an article a few days ago, I think it was 2 days ago, when the Americans said that in order to train somewhere on F-16, you need about a year and a half or something like this to train someone. So yeah, you're gonna get them to fight what, in 2024? Okay, that's a good plan. I'm guaranteeing you that when these Western fighter jets, if they're not F-16s, yeah, probably you can train these guys earlier or sooner. But I don't think these Western fighter jets will be operated by Ukrainians. I have a gut feeling, just put it this way, and I'm allowed to have it because half of the population is allowed to have gut feelings. Okay, so I think I'm from the other side, the other half, 49%. So I think I could have a gut feeling once in a while. All right, now, with all that being said, let's say why this would be an escalation or would be, getting to something bad is because of this. Remember this? I covered it yesterday. Medvedev said delivery of NATO aircraft to Kiev will mean alliance's war against Russia. So this guy is saying, yes, we're gonna get 2 or 3 types of Western fighter jets. One as main one, let's celebrate, hoo. Good for you. And then the guy says, if you receive this, we're gonna do this. That means alliance's war against Russia. And it's not even funny because this is what this guy says. And please pay a little bit of attention if you were not so far. This is what Medvedev said. If we imagine that NATO aircraft delivered in the future will be serviced by their military on the territory of some overgrown Poland, the only possibility taking into account the deplorable state of the defense industry of Russia, this will be a direct entry of the Atlanticists into the war against Russia, with all the ensuing consequences. So if this NATO aircraft, will be delivered and then also will be serviced in Poland, for instance, in another country, this is what he says next. All persons making decisions on supply repair of such equipment or weapons, along with foreign mercenaries and military instructors, will become legitimate military targets. That, together with this, means if you deliver it and you service them on the territory of Poland, for instance, supply repair, what's happening with these guys? Will become legitimate military targets. So this guy is crazy Medvedev that you have no reason to believe because he is not consistent in his statements. He says, if you guys are delivering military aircraft to Ukraine and then servicing it, those are legitimate targets for us, wherever they are. If they're serviced in Poland, they will be blown up. Poland is a NATO country, so they will say, we're going to do it, we're going to go that way. And guess what NATO will say? It's a provocation, they attacked us, we didn't do anything about it. They told you. You say, well, so what? It's not legitimate, that's a different story. Anyway, if you want to go that way, if you do this, if you bring them here, this is what I'm going to do. Right? And I'm going to give you an example with another analogy. You have the neighbor bringing his stuff over here, or not even, you're getting in a fight, with the neighbor, okay? And then he's losing. But the other neighbor gives this neighbor some good weapons, all right? What should you do? What should you consider the other neighbor as? What term would you use for the other one? Helper? Enemy? I would consider that guy enemy, and I would tell him, if you delivered weapons for that guy to beat me up, I will do some harm. I will cause some harm to you. I mean, wouldn't you do that? What would you do? Would you say, hey, just a helper. It's fair game. It's okay, buddy. Yeah, that's fine. Is that what you're gonna do? I mean, you're dumb as if you do that. You're gonna lose. So obviously, you're not gonna do that unless you want to lose, and you want to lose your family, your property, everything, forever and ever. I don't think so. So anyway, you will say, if you do that, there's going to happen something. Now you blow up, boom, 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 their weapons that were delivered by the neighbor, by the helper. And then the neighbor that you're at war with, brings those weapons that the neighbor delivered back to the neighbor, and the neighbor will fix them for them, to give them back, so they can kill more of you. What would you do? Say, hey neighbor, good, good, you're just a helper. Keep doing what you're doing, because when you repair the weapons that you gave him and we destroyed, this guy's gonna hit us again. It's fair game. Is that what you're gonna do? I mean, how dumb can you be? I mean, if you wanna do that, just do it. I will not do it. I will not be, hey neighbor, you're just a helper. You do it. See how far that will get you in life. And I'm saying that because you know that in this kind of circumstance, you would just target a neighbor. You would cause harm. I mean, he's causing you harm by giving this guy and then repairing it. So they're together. But I'm not involved. I think you are, and I'm cautioning you. I'm warning you. If you do that, this is what I'm going to do. Reznikov is happy. We're going to receive these airplanes. Good. I'm not saying you should not. But shouldn't you take in consideration what the Russians are saying? If you don't care about it, that's a different story. It's like December 2021. Remember December 2021? Yeah, not Christmas and all that. When the Russians gave the Americans a list, of how do you call it, security document that they say, okay, well, this is what we can prevent what happens right now if we come and discuss these points. Let's sit down, negotiate, talk about, give us assurances with the signature, not the assurances you gave us verbal assurance in 1991, no inch further NATO expansion towards you guys, and then pump. I think I have like 5 expansions. Oh, it was verbal. Well, too bad, you fooled us. That's what the Russians say, and that's why the Russians believe and think, yeah, you fooled us. You said no advancement of NATO towards us, and you are at our border, and we're supposed to nothing to see. Really? So, yeah. And then they sent the Americans that list and to negotiate on that, discuss it. They said, we want the signature that these guys are not going to be armed to kill us around our border, as we don't come to Cuba to arm those guys against you and all that. And you would not like that. But hey, that's reciprocity. It doesn't work only between equals, where America, these guys consider themselves different, and everybody else should listen to whatever they say. They talk about international law, and they talk about rule-based world order that is for you, and I do whatever I want. Self-assigned, ascribed policeman or policewoman of the world, and all this BS that other countries really don't like it, because you don't like to be treated as an inferior, do you? As a subordinate for no reason. I'm not talking about Russia, I'm talking about other countries. Anyway, so yeah, this I think is another example of an escalation. But as I said, think about these things. As I said, I don't think Ukraine should not, but make their own decision. But I think there are interests that really push things far into something bigger. And I say, I'm quoting Reznikov, I am sure that we will have 2 or 3 types of fighter jets, with one of them to become the main one for our military. And I'm quoting, it depends on which of them suits Ukraine the best, for our airfields, for our engineers, for our maintenance. Remember what he said about maintenance? So yeah, the minister added that he believes a coalition will be formed to provide Ukraine with fighter jets. I mean, the coalition is right there. They manage you, similar to the tank one. So Ukraine has repeatedly requested the United States and others of its allies for Western aircraft. However, Ukraine's military allies, bosses, I translated for you, haven't yet agreed on the matter and have delayed making a decision. In particular, the US President Joe Biden said in an interview to ABC News on the 1-year anniversary of Russian full-scale invasion, and I'm quoting, I am ruling the delivery of F-16 fighter jets out for now, as he believes Ukraine currently doesn't need the aircraft. Or maybe because he got one of these messages from the Russians. I don't know if they care, but we'll see. Scholz, the German chancellor, also claimed that the question of warplanes for Ukraine, and I'm quoting, currently makes no sense. And then Ben Wallace of Great Britain, US Defense Secretary, also said that there was no chance of Ukraine being given British Typhoon fighter jets in near future. Everything is not for now, makes no sense, for now in near future. Slovakia, meanwhile, has announced it could transfer MiG-29. but this guy says NATO aircraft. MiG-29 is not a NATO aircraft. So while Poland has said it is ready to act within a broader fighter jet coalition. Yeah, whistles. Yeah, I'm not going to jump first, you jump first, and then maybe I follow. So this is could be an escalation, and Medvedev, who was consistent in his statements, good or bad, however you want to call them, I think you should take into consideration this. Remember when the Russians said, if you guys attack the Kerch Bridge, the Crimean Bridge, or you attack Crimea, we're going to burn you. And they attacked it in October 8 or something, and in October 8, 9, and so on, the Russians started massive missile attacks of civilian infrastructure, energy infrastructure in Ukraine. Then, only after then. Now, did the Russians cause that bridge to explode? I don't know. They say no, it was you guys. The other guy says, So again, unprovoked, provoked, it's you have at least two players here. So when you say, well, I didn't provoke you, well, I should ask you if you consider yourself being provoked, and we can discuss. Also, you can't just claim security concerns where there are no security concerns. Let's say I want to beat you up, and I have no reason, and I say, well, I felt threatened by you, that's why I came and bang, okay? And you say, well, what did I do to threaten you? Well, you wore that black shirt. That was the cause? Yeah. I don't like that that kind of shirt. All right. So is that legitimate way of considering yourself threatened, or, for me it was, for you it wasn't. Now, if you go outside and look around and say, okay, let's look at it objectively. Should that be a reason? No. But what do you want to do? If he's strong, he's going to punch you in the face. If you're weak, you're going to get punched in the face. So deliver those aircraft and see how things escalate. I hope not, but it was strange that until about a week or a week and a half ago, until about maybe 2 days after Zelensky visited London, and they said, yeah, we're going to give you warplanes, yes. After that, about 2 days, bang, everything was shut down, and then Biden said no aircraft for now, and everybody said, no, I don't think so. It was like a boom, like a drop right there. Everybody was, yeah, we're going to send it, and then all of a sudden, boom, nothing. What happened there then? What happened then? I think they got a big warning from the other guy saying, you know what, just do that, and we're going to just play piano with missiles then, and that's it. But I don't know, I'm just trying to figure things out here. But look for that. Look at the mass media, how they talked when Zelensky went to London and met Charles, and then King Charles, and they met Sunak, Maharishi, and we're going to send you, we're going to give you everything you need. Yes, you give us wings of freedom. Remember that? Blah, 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 blah. Okay, yeah. And then he met Scholz and Macron in Paris, and Meloni was, I wasn't invited. Well, shut up. You're already a liar, I think. So for me, Meloni, that's how it is for me, Meloni, at this point. Not Berlusconi and Salvini, but anyway, we'll see. Maybe she can play hard at this point. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.